to the second edition of EFRAG's podcast. I'm Aleksandra Sivash from Financial Reporting Pillar, and I will provide you an overview of our January 2025 activities. In January 2025, we only have one meeting. It was a joint webinar of EFRAG FRTech and EFRAG FRB. This one meeting was very efficient. First of all, EFRAG Tech recommended and EFRAG FRB approved our final endorsement advice on the contracts referencing nature-dependent electricity, amendments to IFRS 9 and IFRS 7. As you remember, this project was a fast-tracked on the IASB side, and these amendments were very awaited by our stakeholders. The proposed amendments will resolve various application questions that the stakeholders face when they account for the contracts referencing nature-dependent electricity, or also known as power purchase agreements. On our side, we, EFRAG, also made sure that we are on time with our draft endorsement advice and our final endorsement advice. So the final endorsement advice is now in the hands of the European Commission, and we hope that with the appropriate due process, these amendments will be final endorsed in July 2025. At the same meeting, EFRAG FRTech recommended and FRB approved our final comment letter on the EASB's exposure draft, Equity Method of Accounting, Investments in Associates and Joint Ventures, ES 28. As you remember, this project is aiming to answer application questions and reduce diversity in practice when applying ES 28. In our final comment letter, EFRAG expressed support for many of the ED proposals, including measurement of cost of an associated joint venture, transactions between an investor and its investee, disclosures, and impairment indicators. At the same time, EFRAG, FRB, and FRTech expressed several concerns, and among its recommendations called for further simplification of the proposed layered approach for step acquisitions, development of a holistic principle-based solutions for non-exchange changes in ownership interests, exempting transactions with equity-accounted subsidiaries from the ED's proposals for separate financial statements, and modification and clarification of the proposed transition requirements. Members also suggested the ESB include a fundamental review of the equity method in its forthcoming agenda consultation. In January, EFRAG also published a summary report on the 2nd December 2024 educational event on EIS 19, Subsidiaries Without Public Accountability Standard. As you remember, the event was held jointly with the EISB. The event addressed IFRS 19, its practical application, and implications for the European companies. To close this brief financial reporting update, I would like to remind you of the ongoing consultations that are open on our website, and I will ask you to comment as much as you can on those open consultations. First of all, we have EFRAG's draft comment letter on the ESB exposure draft provisions, targeted improvements. You can comment on it until 25 February 2025. We have also extended the deadline for the call for candidates to join our EFRAG rate-regulated activities, and you can submit and apply to this working group until 28 February 2025. There are two open surveys with relation to IFRS 19, subsidiaries without public accountability disclosures. There is one survey for users and one survey for preparers, and we ask for your comments until 28th of February 2025. EFRAG's draft endorsement advice on IFRS 18 presentation and disclosure in financial statements is open until 26th of March 2025. EFRAG's survey to preparers on financial statements of rate-regulated entities is open until 31st of March 2025, and EFRAG's discussion paper on the statement of cash flows is open until 15th of March 2025. Thank you very much for your attention. See you next time.